let's get started. So our model Leo, it's a low poly character. You can add subdivision surface to this if you want a smooth high poly look, but we're starting with no subdivision surface. So for those who have computers that are not the greatest right now and might struggle with a high polygon model. Okay, so just to look at the model, we have separate hair, eyebrows, and the eyes. Okay, so we're only dealing with this part right now, so we can hide those. So let me check here. I think the eyes and the hair are in the and the teeth right there, they're all in the collection 3, and then so we in the eyes also. All right, just so that we have less clutter on the screen. Okay, so we're just kind of preparing our scene right here. Next is we want to enable wireframe, just so that we could see where the cuts will be, like where the elbow will be, and the joints for the fingers. Okay, so on and so forth, the knee, and for the toe bend right here. All right, so we have that. So now we got to split the screen just so that we could easily visualize front and side. I'm going to go to view right here, area, vertical split, and I'm going to drop it in the center like so, tilde, right side right here. Okay, there we go. All right, so watch the video on our basic character rigging first before jumping into this. Practice with that, because this one is the advanced rigging. However, this is part 1. We're just going to create all the bones first, not do any IK setup or controllers. This is just all the bones we'll need for the model. Okay, so we will start with our armature. So Shift A. Okay, armature. And since I positioned the model exactly in the middle, so please don't move the model when you do this, our armature or bones will be in the center of the world, center of our model. Okay, we need to add in front and show axis on our model. Armature. So click this. If you're not on this one right here, which is the data property, the dancing looking green fella. Okay, while the bone is selected in object mode, go here, click in front and axis, and then we'll check names later so that you could see that you did not miss any bone regarding renaming them. All right, so now that it's set up, let's get this started. So I just want to rotate this, so temporarily we'll go to active element here in our transform pivot point. Okay, active element, and I do want to just rotate this. Press R and then hold down Control. Okay. All right, since this will be our main body controller, I do want the Z pointing up right here. Okay, so next, let's populate the bone. Okay, let's go to edit mode. Okay, let's do Shift A. Okay, that created a new bone. I'm going to select this bone, and I'm going to go to my transform tools right here, so I can precisely move along the Z-axis. You can also use your keyboard shortcut, totally up to you. All right, now that it's up here near the hip area, we want to just kind of flip this over. So right click it and then switch direction. Okay, the reasoning for this is that we want the rotation for the hip at the tail, at the head, not at the tail. So I'm just going to move the tail right here, point it at the area where the hip will be, and then drag the head right here. So we just kind of reverse it and put it right here across this line right here. Okay, next we can just duplicate this now, Shift D. Okay, and then this will be our leg bone. So we're going to position it right there. I'm trying to center it right here. Okay, and over here it's centered where maybe we could move it a little bit. No, it's fine right there. So select the tail right here, press G, position that the knee. Okay, press E to extrude. This will be the ankle. All right, so we'll be at that center cut right there, and then E, extrude right here for our toe bend area. Okay, and then E and then Y, so that it can only rock left and right, and then so it's straight. We'll position it right there. Okay. All right. So next, we want to create our spine. Okay. So selecting the head of the hip bone that's reverse. We'll go right here since we know that is centered right there. So we're going to add 2 bones for the spine right here. Okay. And then so that we can have some movement right here in the belly area and whatnot. And then one all the way to the top right here. This will be the torso. And we're just going to make sure it's centered right here, and then it stops. The tail stops at the neck area right, or the collar. Okay. All right. Next, we're going to add the arm bone right here. So I'm just going to do Shift A, so we get a fresh, brand new one here with no rotation issues whatsoever. Okay. So we can position this right here. We just want this line going kind of in the shoulder socket right there. So we can just move it like so. Okay, kind of center that. And then, but we can't see anything in here since we're on the right side. So let's switch to top. Okay. And then let's switch to kind of wire. Select it. Okay. And then let's move it right here. Kind of center it to the arm right there, or to the socket, and then we can select the tail and then extrude it. Okay, we're going to put it right here at the elbow, and then here, if it's not centered, we can move that a little bit like so. Okay, or maybe just lower this whole thing down a little bit, kind of centering it. Okay, and we're going to put just a little bit of inclination right here where it's not fully straight. So this is the elbow, and so when we decide to do an FKIK change setup later on, you'll be animating the top FK, so we get the best of both worlds. But we'll also set up the IK on another lesson on how to do that, and not on this video, but you'll know how to do that with another lesson. Okay, so we just kind of put that a little bit of inclination right there. So with the tail still selected, press E to extrude. This will be where the wrist area will be. Okay, and then press E again. That will be the hand bone right there. Okay, so we're not naming yet. Let's try and finish all the bones first, and then we'll get to the we'll get to naming them. All right. So now we want to duplicate this, and let me put a priority on that right there. So okay, we can duplicate this. Okay. But what we want with this is we want to disconnect it. Okay, so Alt P. Okay, actually undo that. Okay, instead of duplicating, let's extrude it. Okay, so press E to extrude. Okay, and then extrude a bone right here. So press E to extrude it. This will be we want it straight for now. So E, then Y. I mean X. Sorry. Let me undo all that. Okay, press E, then EX, so that it extrudes straight. Okay, now we want this disconnected. Okay, so Alt P, disconnect bone. All right, then we can move it right here. And you want your bone, since this is not a realistic model right here, it's kind of cartoony. We could probably leave the bone joints right here. Normally you want them over here because that's where the bone, the knuckle will be for anatomy, but this is a little bit cartoony. You can see the division on the fingers are kind of equal and whatnot. So we'll just put it right here, slightly outside of that first position. Okay, and then we will just duplicate this. Okay, for all the other fingers right here, and then the thumb. All right, so what we need to do now is very important that we are centered, right? So first, this one right here, which is the hand bone, we're going to lower that a little bit, kind of center it to the hand right there, Okay, this one is the thumb right here. Let's worry about that later. So let's select those three right there. Let's go to see-through right here, X-ray, and solid. Okay, and we can bring that down like so, kind of centering that. This bone right here, we'll center that because that's the pinky finger. And then this one right here, it should be good where it's at, and the other one as well. All right, so now let's just make sure that this one is the length of the finger. Okay, and right here we do want to check that they're inside the finger. Well, there's one way to kind of do that too. We can turn on snapping and volume, but it's kind of unwieldy sometimes, and it doesn't necessarily jump right here with the snapping. So select the tail for each one. It's kind of lower it. Okay, that one, this one. All right, and then finally the thumb right here. Okay, let's take a look. Let's prioritize this now. Lower that. Okay, so that's in the center, and then drag this one all the way here. Then here. All right, we just want to make sure that that's at the center. Okay. All right, we should be good. Now let's go back to the top right here. I'm going to select all the fingers, right click, subdivide. Okay, 2 joints only, so open subdivide right here, number of cuts to 2. Okay, and then I'm going to just kind of adjust the bones right here so that they go exactly where the cuts are supposed to. Okay, so let's change global now to normal so that we can grab them. They can move according to the normal location. Okay, so I think this one is fine right here. They're all in the center of those cuts right here. This one might need to go a little bit like so. This one a little bit. So I'm just trying to put them inside those lines. This one is almost there actually. This one can move a little bit. And here we can move this one like so. Okay, because that's a circle right there. I'm trying to center it to that circle. Okay, let's see here. That one is actually fine. We might need to just move this back a little bit. All right, so it covers more of the there we go. All right, so now let's put this back to global right here, and we are done with the fingers and the hand. Okay, so I'm gonna go back here to the side and then here to the front. All right, now let's create the neck bone. Might need to move that up a little bit right there for the neck area. All right, so I'm gonna press E on the side viewport right here. Press E, that will be the neck, and that will be the neck pivot right there for the head. Okay, and then we're going to press E. That will be the head bone. Okay. All right, and then we need to add 3 other bones here for the jaw and the lower lip and the upper lip, since we want to deform the head using bones. Okay. All right, so for this one, I just want to kind of shift D this. Okay. And then let's clear the parent for now. Alt P, clear parent. And we want to position this where the jaw is supposed to be. So I'm going to select the head right there, and then just put it where the jaw is going to be. Okay, so it's just the below the lobe of the ear, and we're going to position it right here, just below the going to be on the chin. Okay. All right, so we're going to need 2 more. So let's change this back to from oh, we never did change it, so make sure it's on active element so that when we shift D, okay, and then press R, it pivots right there. So this will be for the lower lip. I'm going to grab that and press G. Okay, so that controls the lower lip. Select this, Shift D, rotate, and this is the upper lip. All right, so that's pretty much it. We just need to parent this properly and then rename them. Okay, so let's rename them first, because this one right here, I want to move that slightly forward right there. Actually leave it like that so that it's in exactly in the middle. Okay, so let's start naming first. So this one right here, this will be our main body controller. So main .ctrl controller. Okay, so let's get into the habit of putting all this in collection now. So if we go to our main armature collection right here, so all these bones right now are in one bone collection. So let's add another one by clicking the plus sign, do control right here. Okay, so that while this one is selected, we're gonna reassign this bone collection into controller, so that when we're animating, we don't see any of the other bones. We can hide them and we just see all the controllers. It makes our life a lot easier. Okay, but for now, we're in the bone collection right here, and we're gonna start renaming. Okay, so what I'll do with this is turn off that and then go to like so we could see the bones. So that's the main body controller. Okay, so this one is the toe. We can change the name here in Blender. So if you didn't put the .L designating these are for the left or right, you can actually select them and then right click, names, auto name left and right. It won't auto name them because it doesn't know what these bones are, but it can designate the .L. But we're just going to do that manually. Okay, so this one is the toe .L, enter. This one right here, let's go sideways like this, and I'm gonna put the name right here just so that we know the names and we didn't miss any. So this one right here, we're gonna name this one, this is the foot .L. This is the shin bone, okay, shin .L. This is the thigh bone .L. Okay, next we don't need any more .L until we get to the arm, because we are not we're not what do you call this, we're not symmetrizing these. So this one is just the hip, no designation on left or right. Okay, so we're just gonna call this one spine 1, spine .01, okay, or spine 01. Then the next one right here, spine 02. You can call this whatever you want, as long as you can remember when you need to tweak them. Okay, this is the torso. All right, then we go here. This is the neck. You could put 2 bone neck right here if you want a lot more kind of rotation with the neck, but for our cartoony character, that should be fine right there. This big one right here is the it's the head bone. This lower one right here is the jaw bone, jaw. This one is the bottom lip, bottom underscore lip. This is the top or upper lip, or we can just put it top and bottom. If you call the other one lower lip, they call this one upper lip. Okay, top underscore lip. Okay, and let's go now to the shoulder. Okay, right here. So this is the shoulder .L, because that's for the left side. This is the bicep .L. We're going to call this one forearm .L. This is the hand bone, hand .L. Okay, and then we're going to call this one the thumb, pointer, middle, then pinky. Okay, so thumb, Oh, sorry. thumb101 dot L. Okay, and we're going to call this one thumb02.l, so on and so forth. So right here, we're just going to highlight that, copy it, Control C or Command C. Okay, so when you click on the next one, you simply paste it, change 01 to 02, enter, select the third one right there, Command V or Control V to paste. Okay, all right, so that makes it a little bit faster. So this is pointer 01.L, Command C to copy or Control C. Okay, and then we'll do the rest right here. So all right, so pointer 2, paste, pointer 3, and you don't need to do the other side because we're going to symmetrize it, but until we're done with the setup, we won't do any of that, right? So you don't need to do the other side. So this one's middle 01, and we're not going to have other names here other than middle pointer. So when you see those bones, that means we're talking about the fingers, okay? But if you have other stuff that would require middle and whatnot, you want to name this middle or finger that middle or middle that finger, just so that there's designations that these are the middle finger bones that you're talking about. All right, so this is 2. Okay, this is 3. And then finally pinky 01.L, paste, all right, and there you have it. So we are now done with all the bones that we need for now, and then the next lesson we will do the controllers and setting up the IK.